Hello guys, so I hope you enjoyed my last video. The last video is all about how we create issue type project in team managed Jira. So today we are going to learn how to create issue project issue type and also workflow scheme in company managed Jira. So let's create the project under company managed. So click on create button. Scrum will use the same template Scrum. Here we will choose company managed project, and let's will give the project name as a test project sample. So key it will be auto generated, but as I mentioned in the last chapter, we can change the key, but it should be unique. It should be like unique one in our whole company. It's not like I have already one TES, I will create another one. So okay, I will now click on create. So you can see the dashboard. So basically, this is a company managed dashboard. So here left side you can see all the, so this is related to only the project. Okay, so when you see any issue created, you can see in the dashboard. So you should have super admin access to change your company level settings. Let's say I have super admin, I can go to issues, I can see this is my company manager, so it is applicable to all project. Okay, so you can see the issue type schemes. So it is issue type scheme. Basically, you can say larger group. So it will be assigned to a project or multiple project. Under that, it come issue type. So issue type scheme, you can call it a hierarchy, the top hierarchy, and after that, it will under that there will be issues. So you can see here the project, the TES Scrum issue type scheme. It is auto created and it is already associated with the project test project sample. You can create your own issue type scheme and assign it to the project. It's not like it cannot change. So let's say we'll create a new one and add to the project test project sample. So here we'll create, let's say we'll give test project is sample project issue type scheme, a sample test issue type scheme, and then we'll assign all the defects. So let's say I have this project, you can add all the issue types, or you can add one or two issue type depending on your requirement. So if you see, you'll add and save. Oh, I think I forgot. Okay, so let's add all. Okay, now save. Okay, you can see this project is created, but there is no project assigned to it. So if you want to assign any project, you just have to go to associate and you have to select the project. Okay, and then click on associate, then it will be uh, published and the issue type scheme will be changed. So this is how we create an issue type and assign to a project. So let's go to the project and see different issue first. Then we'll create an issue and then assign the issue type. So okay, so let's go to the project settings. Let's go to the issues. What are the different issues present? Okay, so currently I have these 5 issues issue type in my project, and you can see the workflow and field calculation assigned to it is by default created once you create the project. So it will be auto assigned. So now let's create an issue type, and let's we have already created I think testing issues, so we'll just add the testing. Oh, so we'll just create an issue type. Let's say create an testing and add that issue type to a issue type scheme. So create testing. So you can choose standard issue type, or if you want subtask, we'll choose its standard issue type. Then it add. Okay, now you can see testing, and this is by default assigned to your project issue type scheme, but we want to change. So if you want to change and change it to, let's say, sample test issue type scheme we created, then we can assign in two ways. So we can go to issue type schemes and choose the issue type. So you can see the sample test issue type scheme. We can go there, and here you can see this scheme type is assigned to a project and testing is not assigned. So I'll just assign it and save it. So now TS Scrum type scheme, which is associated to the project we created, is now you can see the subtask testing is already there. So let's see, let's go to the issues. Now you can see here. So click on issue type. So let's see. Okay, so you can see testing is there already. It is associated with, this is a simple workflow, which is by default workflow is auto created, and all the field configuration and screen configuration. So this is how we can create an issue type scheme and associate it with an issue type. So I hope you have pretty much clear. So if any question, you can just put in the comment. So basically once, so this is my dashboard, but you can see if okay, you can create an issue. So testing is there, task, bug, epic, but these are related to one workflow. So workflow basic, if let's say in case of bug testing, and there should be like to do, in progress, or closed. So once we create one issue type, so it will associated with the workflow and it will automatically created and the workflow. And once you create an issue, it will automatically assign design depending on the workflow you have assigned. So you can see we can create an issue. So you can give the priority and label all those things. So that give will be in more detail in going forward in the next chapter. So once you click on create, you can see a new issue is created. Okay, so you can see this is my testing task. It is already created and it's not assigned. Priority is low. So you can see the status is to do there in the right hand side, and you can create a subtask and or link an issue or complaints, anything. So basically this is, you can go to the dashboard. Let's go to the dashboard. You can see the issue should be here. Yes, it is, but you can see the status, that is the workflow. So it is to do in progress done, which is by default workflow. So this is by default created once we create the project. So if you go and see the workflow, let's go to the workflow. So yeah, this is my by default workflow which is created. So basically workflow, first we have to create the workflow scheme. So workflow scheme is just like issue type scheme, and under that we can create multiple workflow and we can assign individual workflow to individual issue types, or you can assign one workflow to all issue types. So you can see, you can go to the workflow, you can see there. So it's by default workflow, you can see simple software workflow for TS. This is by default and it's assigned to all issue types. So if you want this in a dedicated workflow for this project, so you have to create the workflow scheme first. Then you have to assign, you can see the workflow scheme here is TS software simplified workflow scheme. So it's a by default created. So if you want to create a dedicated, then you have to go, you should have admin access first of all. Then let's go to issues and workflow schemes. Okay, so you can see there is two workflow. One is assigned to the test project sample. Okay, this is by default. So we can copy the same one or we can create a new one. So let's say if we copy, it will generate it in inactive. And if you create a one, we just click on add workflow scheme, then we'll have to give the name. So let's say we have already copied it. Okay, so it is already copied. We can see it later in the under inactive. Let's create a workflow scheme. So we'll give, and should name should be, so name should be like your project name. Then you can create your, let's say, new workflow scheme. So we have given the project key and then the new workflow scheme. Then the description is optional. You can give, or I mean you can leave it blank. So we'll just give the description. Then we'll click on add. So it will create the new workflow scheme. You can see it. Okay, once it loaded. Okay, so this is the new workflow scheme. So I just want to assign. So if you want to assign, then just click on assign it to the defect. Otherwise, if you see all unassigned issue type, so it will by default assign to any issue type you create. So let's come to workflow scheme, and in inactive you can click, you can see. Okay, first one we copied, it's there. Okay, so the next one should be there. Yes, so it is TES new workflow scheme. So both are created. So now what we have to do, you have to assign it to the project. So let's go to the project settings. Okay, workflows. Oh, yeah, here we have to switch the scheme. So once you click the switch scheme, it will show all the list available in the, so you can see it, you can copy or you will create the new one. We'll just associate that one. So here, okay, so you are going from the previous one to the new workflow. So it will ask for you the mapping for all the issue subtypes you have assigned to this new workflow. So depending on the requirement, you have to add all the status. So we'll just map, okay, currently it is done. So we'll just map it to the new one, which is closed. Okay, one thing, once we create a workflow, it will by default take the Jira defined workflow. So in the next chapter, we'll learn how to create an workflow for a individual issue type and assign it to the particular issue type under a project. So here I already click on associate. It will take some time. So once it associate, we have to acknowledge it. So it will be get published. Okay, you can see here my new workflow scheme is already added to the project. So now I will able to use this one. So in the next, so this is all about workflow scheme. So you can add any existing workflow or so. So this one, yeah, workflow creation all we'll learn on the next chapter. So thank you everyone. Bye.